Hi, my name is Ken Yeager, and Matt here from the Yosemite National Park Service is going to let us know what is okay to pick up and what isn't.
Hi, my name is Matthew Flynn. I'm an archaeologist here at Yosemite National Park, and today I'm just going to talk with you a little bit about how archaeology works into Facelift and why it's important to be aware of archaeological resources while you're going about cleaning up the park. Now, before I get started, I just wanted to talk a little bit about getting in contact with the parks that you're going to be working in. So each park may have individual concerns that they're more worried about than we are here in Yosemite, and talking to local staff at your park will be very important to understanding those concerns and avoiding possibly damaging either cultural or natural resources that might be particularly sensitive where they are. All right, with that said, let's begin on the rest of it. Archaeology in the United States is protected by a variety of laws, but the three big ones and the most important ones that we often run into here in the National Park Service are the Archaeological Resource Protection Act, the National Historic Preservation Act, specifically Section 106 of that, and the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. Anyway, so during Facelift, it's important to be aware of these objects. And so while you're going around cleaning things up, what do you do if you run across something that you think might be over 50 years old? And the way I usually approach it is if you see something and you think it's possibly archaeological in nature, first, leave it alone. Second, take a picture. And third, go tell a ranger, or if you happen to know an archaeologist who works in the park or other cultural resource staff, let them know about it. All right, so first I'm going to tell you about some material classes that would be important to be aware of when you're in the park, as well as how to tell that they might be historic versus modern. And let's start with ceramics. Ceramics in general are not used in the park today. So if you find something, chances are it's historic. But an easy way to tell sometimes, if you look at the glaze, if you look at the insides of it, if it's been broken, or even sometimes if it's just not even in the way that it's constructed, that can be a way to tell. Next, let's talk about metals. In the West, if you find something that has rusted, in general, it is historic. Chances are if you're seeing something that's kind of rusty, has a bunch of holes in it, you might want to leave it where it is because it could be either 19th century or early 20th century. Even pull-tab cans from the 1950s and 1960s are archaeological in nature. Next is glass. And one of the ways that you can easily tell with glass is the thickness of the glass. If you see a bottle that's broken and the thickness is variable along it, or if there are particular colors, these are really good indicators that the glass is historic. Some examples that I have with me today is this is a piece of cobalt glass. You don't normally see this color these days, as well as this particular form. One of the others that we find pretty regularly is old insulators from power lines. These are historic. We'd like you to please leave them where they lay. Now, one thing that people think of almost immediately when you talk about artifacts is stone tools, lithics, things that are made from either chert or obsidian or sometimes even flint. It really depends on where you are in the United States as to what they're made out of. Now, in Yosemite, we have predominantly obsidian, though you'll get pieces like this, which are quite attractive. What you'll more often find are little flakes like this. They are small and they're just reduction of larger stone tools. Again, these are very important to archaeologists because it allows us to understand what kind of activity was going on at a site. Now, the last class of objects that I want you to be aware of is something that isn't actually archaeological in nature, but is part of the sort of scientific research background of Yosemite Park and hopefully all the other parks that you're going to be visiting. And these are markers for projects. Things like pin flags. You will see these everywhere in all kinds of construction, as well as, scientific projects. Sometimes large nails like this are used as survey datums. Another one that is used as a survey datum is wooden stakes like this. People will measure off of them. And then lastly, you have your everyday survey flagging, plastic flagging like this. You'll see it tied to trees. If you see it, please leave it where it is because there is likely an ongoing project there. Thank you again. Have a good day.
Now, as you clean up this year and you're cleaning locally, it's very important to check with the land managers or stewards of the areas you are cleaning. Basically, we don't want to pick up anything older than 50 years old or it's historical. That stuff needs to stay in the ground. We can report it to the archaeologists in case they don't know about it or know where it is, and that's always a good thing to do. Some national parks may have different artifacts too, so make yourselves familiar with what those are so that we don't do more damage than we do good. Thank you.